like jabbing forward with it. Show me two more. Let's see what that looks like. That's kind of that bridle jab. All right, so inside over there. I would rather you not go so far forward as to try to get your elbow in front of your hand more, and then stop at the edge of your frame here and let your sword travel a little more, and not jab like this, but more jab like that, a little higher handed, because that helps you with the hard snap. Because women or people who are inflexible sometimes hit the edges of their armor or boobs in their case, right? And so I, being flexible, can bring my elbows in, so it makes it easier for me to go super hard because my elbow goes first, right?
Yeah.
But by that same proxy, if you'll bring your elbow through here and then just stop and snap your sword behind it, it makes it a lot easier to go above people's shields. And the process looks kind of like a plate pass. So when you're describing it to people as to what it should look like mechanically, as if I had a weight or a tray that I was carrying, right? And I wanted to give it to somebody, right? So your elbow has to stay in front of it in order to pass it off to somebody, right?
Yep.
And that's kind of what we're looking for. You want to get that elbow to here and then act like you're trying to give it to somebody. Don't go out. Don't open your shape. Keep your shape more in that slightly open 90. So when I'm coming through, I'm here and here, right?
Yep.
I don't want to go forward. I want to cut. So look at me. You see your elbows? How far can your elbows come in? So when you're throwing that, nope. Chest faces me here, and then it's going to travel here. Better. Keep try to, when you're finishing it, no matter what height you're throwing at, try to keep your sword parallel.
I also should probably let it go.
It helps to relax. That was what I was going to follow up with. Is we could use the sword that has no basket, so I can see your fingers. Right. So when I'm teaching these, I want you to have this is a longer than normal grip. So see how long my grip is, right? So I kind of keep it forward. So what that does is that with a long palm, it makes it easier to flat snap stuff, right?
Yeah.
You're not stretching your wrist. So that long, loose grip, especially with a 3-finger trigger, makes it a lot easier to snap at stuff, right? And not put torsion in your chest. Because you notice when I'm swinging, I'm not turning my torso. I'm from that position, and I just bring my elbow through and then just drive, right? Torsion is not generated here. It's more in your body.
Forward.
Yeah, probably might transfer at the end. We're working our way to that.
I'm getting this first.
That's fine.
That's not
Elbow first. Oh, don't turn. Just think about moving your elbow first, and then the sword will follow just like that. Don't open. You're pushing.
Yep. That's the habit of all the years.
Elbow first. And then
Put it
just
at the end. Put it at the end.
Right now? Right
Yeah.
now? Let's get you
How it's
closer.
supposed to be.
So, lengthen the wrist. There you go. Like that. Is that tension at the end? And then you're just going to pull it back and then hit again. It's a shoulder-driven mechanic like you're throwing, right? No, we got shoulder, elbow first. Otherwise, drive. So let's try it back here. Open your shape. Now, bring your elbow through like this and throw like that. Don't turn your
Don't
chest.
turn my shoulder.
Yep. Just drive with your elbow. Yep, that's actually pretty good. Better. See, it's kind of like a shitty whip. Back up about 6 inches. Let's try it a little too far. All right, now try the same mechanic. Again. Sword kind of going through there. It means your hand is bobbling.
Yep.
So think about when you throw that, like that 3-finger trigger, you're pointing at where you want it to go to. And you can open your shape slightly, just not so much. There.
You good?
Yeah. Almost went down my tape.
Nope.
Just open your shape too soon. It's right here. You're the opening too soon.
Yeah.
If your shape stays consistent all the way to here, once you're like you're carrying that weight, it just snaps for distance, right? Farther away, closer. Better. Open your shape too much. Your arms too straight. There you go. See the difference?
Yep.
Now, less torsion in your shoulders. Try to keep your shoulders steady. So for this one, think about with your right hand, keep it in the center of mass, and you're trying to point it at the bag. What you're trying to do is not do this, just make sure that that hand can stay pointed mostly at the bag. Bowser, move. Good boy. Sit. Go ahead. Parallel. So your sword's going up, make it parallel. Smoother. So right now you got this like weird dip. So when you're coming through, that elbow's that plane, that sword would be very smooth in that plane.
Yep.
Like point A to point B. Better. We're gonna pigeon you in here in a second. Right. So when we're talking about get it slightly closer with these 2 feet, now I want you to turn your toes towards each other, more, a little more, and then just dip your weight until your knees come down. We're trying to lock your hips in place. Turn that toe in ever so slightly more. Now, that's fine. It should just put stress on the front part of your hips.
Yep.
Where you're less likely to turn.
Here.
Yep. Now try the same mechanic. Again. We'll try something.
Yep.
Let's take it from behind you. You're good, hold it. I want you to try it from this mechanic. Instead of facing, over face behind you. That's right. Better. Straight behind you. Stick it straight back. Put tension into that elbow. You open too soon. It's this, so you're opening, right? Just all you're doing is bringing that shape from here all the way to here.
Yeah.
And then it will slightly open.
Can
You're
I
opening.
close this door?
Yeah, you can close it. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know the flail mechanic
Yeah.
for better?
Uh-huh.
Josh says I go back to that a lot.
So some of that is you're opening here, and think more about if you're carrying something, you're going to have to keep that tight until you're ready to give it to somebody, right? So you're opening your shape here before you're kinetically sound, right? That elbow has to stay in front till you're ready to drive it forward. Elbow first. All right, now elbow first. Better, much better. Opening too soon.
Yep.
So
You can see my face knew it before it even
So
hit.
get back to your mechanic here. So a lot of it is you start to push your hand.
Yeah,
You have to go
which
with
is
this.
that jab.
Yep. You have to go here, and then you're just jabbing from here. But I want you to. What that does is help keys your body weight. It makes it easier to zip that shot in there with more power foot. Don't open your shape. Literally, just think about. See how it stays in that same plane. I'm not really. If I'm not moving away from the bag, I'm not having to adjust my elbow length, right? My elbow length's out having to move because I'm here.
Yeah.
So if you're close enough to hit the bag, you do not need to open and close your elbow. Just keep that, there you go, that same height. Better. Don't open so soon. There you go. That one you kind of, you're too tight in the hand. So let's try to hit good old 3. Don't open your shape. So the mechanic for it is as your elbow comes through, say you're going up with it, and then as you get to the height, you're just gonna snap it in there with less shoulders. It's literally like this. When you come to the edges of your frame, you're just pointing, trying to keep your elbow inside. Elbow first. There you go. Loosen your grip, lengthen it. There you go. Arms too long. Better.
I stood up. The hip went.
1 second. Relax. Now try. Solve that. So, say your hand keeps getting real short. That's
Yeah, it
making
keeps
you.
coming up.
It keeps pulling you across, right? So, if you'll think about trying to, say I grab it and I set it between my thumb and my finger, and then I make those fingers long.
Whereas I'm trying to keep my hand together like
you're
a
trying to
baseball.
grab it, right? So I think about it like right there, and then my fingers are long. That really helps me be quicker with the slot shot and that flat snap, because your end is forward. And if your hand is tight, see how you're having to torsion yourself to hit, your hand is long, it makes it a lot easier to hit those shots, especially from that medium range. You're not, especially if you're semi-flexible like me, bring your hand across a lot easier, less torsion.
I think you just fixed my desk grip. Because I was having that issue. Hi, baby. I would love to, but you know what's happening.
Sit. Good boy. Sit. Lengthen your grip. Think about lengthening your grip. So, see how short you are?
Yeah.
So, I may have to get one of Lori's swords. See how it sits in your palm between your
Yeah.
thumb and there? And then grab your fingers. See how it's long? It feels weird, but it works.
Like it's coming off the ball of my hand.
Yeah, it's sitting in there. And this trigger may be too long for you. You may need to go to a full 4. That's why I was thinking I may switch to Lori's. But see, see how I'm long in it? So that sits in my
Yeah.
hand. It makes it a lot easier to slot stuff because that's a very good neutral position, right? That's why I keep my sword to the back. It makes it easy to just hit and hit. And then you're not chasing with that short and tight grip because it robs your power. Plus, if you start with that tip back, it helps you snap it in there a lot easier. Let me get one of Lori's smaller handled swords
Okay.
that are not so ginormous. Give me a couple of both hands. How do you rock? So much regret going outside. I saw 12 degrees in flip flops. So, I believe these are 35s, I believe, but the handles are much friendlier. Same 3-finger trigger, but, so these are typically rights, but it's that same thing. That 3-finger, handles long, it's got my palm, it's like a shitty handshake, right forward. And then I've just got that trigger at the bottom of that ring finger where it's comfortable, right? You just gotta learn to trust it. So try it like that. Oh, say you're jabbing, don't open the shape.
Yep.
Keep that shape up, don't open and close the elbow yet. We're not there yet.
It's like, this one's really tiny and that one's big.
Yeah. Well, I stopped shaping my handles because my squires would steal them, so I just use a brick.
I don't want to use that.
Yeah, so, but I've shaped some recently, so I have less. Bowser, leave Casey alone. There
It's so sweet.
you go. Sword straight back, elbow first. Right now we're just learning your swing mechanic. What I'm trying to do is get you to engage here.
Yep.
Think about that lat, and then you're just bringing it through. And then once you get here, it just snaps, right? The further you get your elbow without torsioning, the better. But so long as you make neutral, it will snap.
It
I assure
pulls
you.
here.
Huh?
On the back. It pulls here on the back of my head.
Well, it's because you're forcing yourself to stay up to pull, right?
Yeah.
Getting a little better posture in your shoulders, ma'am.
My shoulders are shit, sir.
Well,
Sorry. Yeah, hi.
there you go. Elbow first.
Yeah.
Mechanic here. Now, elbow through. Don't say you're opening.
Yep.
So you're here and then you're open.
Yep.
You shouldn't open till you're at that pass position, like we talked about, that you're wanting to
So,
give
so my
that away.
elbow's in front of my nipple.
Basically, it's almost, it can start opening slightly forward, but not much, right? Like it should be pretty far forward before you open. Because the problem is that's bleed out. All that is you're robbing yourself of power going out. Power, much better to go forward. Lengthen your grip, relax your hand. There we go. Elbow up, there we go, again. Keep that hand, that elbow up, again.
Give me a moment. There.
We do one slower. Get back where it was. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. So when we think about throwing, this goes first, right?
Yep.
So you're gonna pull, we want that elbow to go, right? All it's gonna do is then your handle's gonna turn, and then once it hits right there, you'll start to open ever so slightly. You don't have to open much, because you're already in target, right? If you want it higher, the elbow just comes up as you get there. So you don't ever want to swing up. You want that mechanic to be here, so how high my hand is, and then a hand on the height you want to throw at. So I don't want you uppercutting. Get back where you were, because what that is, you're throwing up. I want you, as you begin that shot, your elbow is going to go to the height you want it to go to, and your sword will snap out of it. It's obviously not as lead lag as that.
Opened.
Yeah, elbow first, shoulders better. Relax your grip.
That's come on, just like making my sword, but cutting it off and just shoving it in my bag. So at least it's just there.
Yeah, well, a lot of it is that plate pass. So let's do a couple plate passes to kind of work on that. So here, take this, put the sword down. So you're gonna take it in your left hand. You're gonna have it in a rest position that we're having, and then you're going to pass the plate to me and hold it out like this. And then I'm going to take it from you. So in that mechanic, see how I'm gonna relax your wrist back, elbow has to come forward. Now pass me the plate. Feel that?
Yeah.
Right? And then I would take it. Be a little closer. Or square. Let's force your feet up. Yeah, even them out. Let's try that. All right. Now, should be clear. Lengthen and throw through elbow first.
Nope.
Yeah. Let's set up. Think about parallel. Again. Tip up. Don't uppercut.
It's been forever.
It's all right. So a lot of it, we're gonna go through a slow mechanic here. Get where your starting position right. So when we go, the first thing that's gonna move is this is gonna roll forward, right? And then when that's there, the sword literally just follows.
Yeah.
Right? And it's literally just point A to point B.
Yeah, because you start moving it, you don't have to try to force it through.
Because you're already tensioning your shoulders, right? So let's start from the beginning. So when we're starting that, make sure that our shoulders are back and that we're ready. Get tension on your hand. Lengthen. Elbow slightly in front of the hand. Tight between the shoulders. Now throw. So some of that we may have been, see how you're a little too open?
Yeah.
You're close enough to hit it, right? There's no need to open. This doesn't add any power to the shot. It only adds range, right?
Yeah.
So there's no need to chase it. We're gonna hit it. Don't open. Get your elbow a little further through. Better. So freeze when you hit this time. Don't open. Hand higher. Try to get your elbow as close as you can to the edge of that branch, right? As close to your nipple as you can. The better you get it there, the easier it is. Okay, so when I throw this down here, and then all you're doing is finishing with that point, right? So when your hand is tense, think about open, long hand, pointing. Shape, point straight back, heighten the shoulders, go. Better. Open your shape a little much, you're throwing down, but better. I'll take it. A lot of it is tension in the hand. It takes a while to get that relaxation. You're still grabbing it at times. It is hard not to do it. So we get a regular stick here with no nothing on it. I don't know, we get one of these little wands over here with nothing on it. So I can see your hand right down there, right? So to kind of give an example, grip doesn't make how hard you hit, right? Like how hard you hold a sword has anything to do with hit it, right? So I can just put my thumb on my poor little ring finger there, you know, and that can snap. Your hand tightness doesn't affect how hard you hit, right? So relax and lengthen. So I got it sitting in my hand, super long, right? Palm facing you. Cool thing about that nice palm facing you is it gives me the ability to flat snap, right? Super far.
Yeah.
It doesn't drag me. The less an angle your hand is at, the more you have to chase, right? It pulls you. The longer your hand is, the easier it is to hit and not pull your torso.
Yeah.
That's too short. Where my hands have to be, usually in front of me somewhere, right? So I don't get hooped in the snoot. So that's why that long, relaxed hand It gives you that nice ability with your shots. We don't use torsion, we use that. Your body's tight, makes it easier to give that weight into the bag. I don't know if I want to be small enough. If not, I've got a smaller one here that's round as well. Choke up ever so slightly on it. There you go. Now let me see. You hit the bag with no trick. Try it.
In the same way?
Yep, same way. Just relax. Sword tip up. Try it. Just snap up. So let's do a couple slow ones, right? Just get in that start position, and then just think about try to keep that sword in that. So I just got in that nice flat arc, right? Just try to keep my sword and this parallel to the ground. Just that nice. We're doing a plate pass. I want that sword, and that's right here. Elbow in front of hand. To stay flat, and no, don't open.
No, don't open.
Yeah, don't open. And then you're just gonna hit it. So watch me. I'm just gonna throw it under, right? So literally just working on keeping everything very parallel, very slow. You can torsion. That's fine. You can torsion ever so slightly for this, but I prefer you don't. Elbow in front of hand. Go. Good. Okay. Less torsion this time. There we go. Don't open your shape. Don't open your shape. There you go. Better. Start with your sword tip back. Try to keep it back. Shoulders tight. Throw again. Slowly. No. Now. Keep your sword parallel. Let's work on sword. Anytime you tighten, I see your tip go up. Sword parallel to the ground. Better. Elbow first. There you go. You see how it's just like a crappy whip that you're whipping in there, right?
Yeah.
So you're essentially applying torsion, and then you're gonna snap it in there. And it's learning to not over rotate and trust your friend to get it started. So keep your elbow, that part of your tricep, and your sword all parallel to the ground, throwing elbow strikes. Don't dive. So all you really gotta look at is your under part of your arm, choke point, under part of your arm, and this sword should stay parallel to the ground and just boop, boop, in and out, like a shitty windshield wiper. Don't torsion. See how you turn it?
Yep.
Yep. Relax your hand. So look at my hand. See how relaxed my hand is?
Yeah.
And then think more about. So just let the stick go. I think you're still grabbing it too much. Relax your hand. Right. And then when you're finishing, see I've got my palm up, right, very up.
Yeah.
So the more relaxed you are, the more your palm can point up, right? And so it just takes a while to get used to that relax. You're like, I gotta grab it, and it just takes a while to break that habit.
Yeah, it's in the way I throw. It's why I throw that way, because I grab it.
It's that jab that Ronald teaches, and I like the jab. I just don't think it's universal for a good shot from a shorter person. I guess if you have good feet, you're above average height, it's a great shot. But if your movement is not perfect, or your height is not quite up to key, it's not a good shot, because it doesn't really clear anything. It doesn't go above the shield, doesn't really hit the cap. So it's useful, but only in limited situations. Not that mine is perfect either. However, I think mine is better for throwing mechanics for smaller people. Don't turn your shoulders. Just whip it. Better. So your sword's going crazy? I just think about slow enough that as you go through this, as you go through this mechanic, this and this stay in that constant plane. I just want to work on slow and parallel. And some of it is associated with this arm's flexibility versus this arm. Right?
Yeah.
You struggle less with this one because of where you're looking at. So you may have to stretch that 2 or 3 weeks a month to get where it's easier to get your elbow for your hand.
Often keep you race. Your house.
I do have one comment. Thumb to the side. Don't put your thumb on it. Helps keep your grip low, right there. So you'll notice when I grab mine,
Yeah.
say my thumb and forefinger essentially sit side by side. Because that lets me hold my palm flat. When your thumb is long, see how it makes your sword angle?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, off to the side, yep, see if that helps. Don't turn your torso. Watch your arm, watch your sword, parallel to the ground, don't turn. Parallel to the ground, better, better, don't overshape. Get your tension back in your shoulders, pull it back, there you go, again. Better, more elbow. So,
Yep.
you look over, you see that your hand's creeping forward, your elbow's staying
Yeah.
back, right?
That elbow, that hand wants to be forward.
Yes, and well, the problem with that is that it makes you push
Right.
versus snapping to
Right.
people. It's a lot easier to take your body weight and give it to people correctly, because if you're taking a weight, you can't hand it to people without your elbow being under, right?
Yeah.
So that helps you with your body mass to hit people with elbow in front of hand. Little tensiony, but not bad, not bad. So the best key that I've found for this is to get your sword up. We're gonna help you find your tension point. Is when you're here, you're gonna turn your hand out and want you to immediately put pressure on.
Yeah.
Yep, feel it? That means you're in the right torsion spot. That's where you're gonna throw from. Aha! So what it is, when you're looking for that torsion point, put it in your right hand for now. We'll talk about it. And so when you're having trouble finding the part you want to key off on, once you're up and your hand is back, you essentially turn your wrist out, slightly past even, and you feel what it engages?
Yeah.
That's the muscle you're looking for, right? Once you can engage that and you can throw from there, it's not a throwing position to fight, it's a throwing position to teach yourself
Yep.
what you need to have tension in
Yep.
to give that away. Because once you have, you know where that is for tension? I can put tension in my hand here.
Because getting to tension takes too
Right.
long, but being too tense is tiring.
Yeah. So it's the easiest way for you to find it, and then you just practice that basic mechanic, and then you can move it around later on. But first, you gotta know what you're using on the front and back of those shoulders. And if those aren't tight or giving you problems, that means you're just whipping at people. You want to hit them, and you want it to be uncomfortable.
Probably when some of my shots are late, it's because I'm reserving it so I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
hurt or
'Cause-
injure.
Well, it's some of that push instead of some of that snap, right?
Yep.
And it's not snap, it's tension,
Yep.
and you use your body weight to give that tension away.
That's for you being right.
I'm not the best teacher in the world. I do know how to make smaller people snap shots.
So you've been doing something for 30 years, happy anniversary, and you say you can kind of see this shit?
Well, I couldn't teach for years. Antigone will approach to that. I was not a great teacher. I was a little brisk for most people. Would be a good descriptor. What do you think, honey? Brisk?
Sure.
That's
That's a word.
That's a word. You like that word? It's a super good word. Let me get one of these sorts of got trigger. So we'll talk about some of our mechanics so you can see them, right? So we're talking about throwing mechanics, right? You know that
Yep.
that loose hand throw. That's that regular flat snap, right? We're here. Just that regular flat snap. But notice that I'm not torsioning. I'm not moving. I'm literally here, shoulder, or we're gonna add a little bit when you throw, right? That's where you get your pep. It's from that frame weight transfer. But when you're practicing, it's like lifting weights or anything else. We just isolate and just use our shoulders. So when we're doing our 1 through 6 drill, whether it is, you know, it's literally just your shoulder. You're just throwing shots. You notice I'm not moving, no big moves.
No,
Just
no.
that one,
It's your
one,
ankle
one,
that you're.
1, 3, 4. Very deliberate, very slow strikes. Probably about a 5, right?
You need a mid-roll seven, yeah, sure.
But I'm not trying to kill anybody, right?
No.
This is not overly exerted or any of that stuff. When you're just throwing shots, like you're always going to throw 2, right? Where people struggle is the offsides. They're unsure how to throw the offsides. So we see a lot of people throwing into it. We always call that jerking off the giant, like you got your hand in front of you.
That's a jab as well.
So we
I've been
teach.
trying to keep my elbow down though, and
It's
just
the
move my
straightening
elbow
of your
out.
arm that's giving you the problems, right? So if you're here and you're bringing your elbow through for a flat snap, your elbow needs to go out for an outside, right? So over here, what we teach people is the first thing you want to do is you want
No, the first that like I started it this past week. I right before practice.
yeah.
I'm not moving my elbow. I'm pushing my elbow so I can get that.
So see the outside? So see how far the elbow goes
Yep.
before the sword moves, right? So it's literally just
Yep.
a snap.
That's why I started practicing on my own.
And that is the same whether it's the body or the leg. And that's not a big torsion turn. That's literally just
Yep.
flipping her up and down. So that's when your 3 to your 4, right, is always 3, 5, 3, 6, right? 4, 1. It's literally just that. The way we describe it is if you're framing with a hammer, right, in space, you want to hit that nail in space. It's that mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Literally, we're just using that mechanic instead of this way. We want your elbow to go out, and then
Yeah.
you're just framing on people. And then when you fight, you can add all that big movement that you want to. Practice purposes, isolate it, and just make it. And when you're doing it right, it's a very repeatable thing, right? And you do it when you're
Yeah.
so it becomes very fluid, right?
Yeah.
So we do our 1 through 6. We do that 7 times a cycle, right? So you'll go forward right-handed, forward left-handed, backward starting at 6 right-handed, backward starting at 6 for your left hand. And those 4, front back, is 1 cycle. 7 cycles is 1,006 shots a hand. That's our basic Thursday to get people to where they can fight. Because
Okay.
I am of the opinion, if you can't throw 1,000 shots a hand over 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, fighting's probably going to be a lot for you, right? Like, 'cause the actual act of fighting will get you tired.
Yep.
But once you can do this just basically sitting on a pel, a lot easier to learn because you're not getting tired, your shoulders aren't fatiguing specifically, and you should know what a good shot is, right? Like you've done this enough, you know how that felt. Standing still. It's our basics that we teach first, because once you know what a good shot should feel like standing, now we're just gonna add a little movement to it, right? Not a lot, right? So now we're like, oh, I've done standing still a bajillion times, right? So now we're gonna back outside of that measure. We're gonna shield foot step, right? It's the easiest one to teach, right? Right here, shield foot step. Just that basic, high-handed, good old flat snap. Good old flat outside. Good old outside, right? Working on just basic, and you switch from shield foot to sword foot, right? Because we teach shield foot first. It's easier to teach people to cross biceps. When we're not turning, we're going towards you, right?
Great.
And the same thing here. And it's harder to teach this first than it is this. Once they don't turn here, it's a lot easier to teach them. Because you'll notice when I fight, 2 sword, left foot forward.
Yeah.
Right hand shield, left foot forward. Left foot, always left foot forward. This is how-
I recently pulled my sword foot back from this to this. And for some reason it helped.
I have always fought left foot forward. It's how I learn. It's how I teach. But my guys, I teach, if you're fighting a lefty, you're supposed to switch your swords and switch your feet, right? Technically, more correct. It's easier to learn.
You still don't do it.
I don't do it because I struggle with it. I didn't put practice into it.
Yeah.
But on my guys, when they learn from the ground up, that's how I teach. Switch your feet, switch your hands, switch your sword lengths. Because you want.
It's
you-
easier. It's easier to teach the thing than to reteach.
Yeah, it's easy. You want a hand match, like we talked about when I used to do in foam. Always want a hand match, dominant hand on dominant hand. You know, it's easier to do that way. And then same thing with your other hand, working on pelvic. But you'll see that they are very direct. I'm not torsioning. Very easy to throw. And the objective when you're doing these high volume is to try to hit the tape. That's what it's there for, right? And as you get better at it, like you wanna hit that tape. That's your goal, right? As you're working through it. And ours are very specifically high. Eyes, ball of your hip joint, 2 inches above the knee.
Yeah.
This will be in the muscle board.
5.
Right?
Can you make it grow a little bit so it can be my husband's height?
Now, all these bags are 72. The only way we have found to do them better is that sometimes we'll put them on a brick, 4-inch brick to pick them up, and then this is just a little over. The problem with that is you're like, ah! Hit the deal on again. But it lets you know.
Maybe you hit somebody in the knee.
It lets you know where their knee is, right? And we actually have a tall bag out there. I have one bag that's 6'2", I think, 6'3".
You mean in the thunder out there?
Yes, in the 12-degree weather out there. I do have one bag that's taller. Because our taller fighters, Logan's 6'7", he has a hard time pelling on a short bag, right?
Yeah.
Because he throws down all the time. So in order for me to teach him the flat, clean mechanics, we have to have a taller bag. Because I don't want people always throwing down. Kinetically, I want them to learn to throw perfect shots in and adjust for height, right? But if you're always throwing down, it's hard to teach them that. So we have a couple different things we teach. We also have a short bag set up, right? One of the bags is set up for short people. Because then taking these struggles, flat snapping all the time, super high. So we'll bring the bag down until it's a clean mechanic, and we know we like a mechanic. It's easier to work up, right?
Yep.
And then to teach that stretch first. And then we'll work into wraps. So I have not seen how you throw any of your wraps. You want to show me one of your wraps
No.
so that I may look at it judgmentally?
What do you call a group of knights?
Huh?
What do you call a group of knights?
I have no idea.
A judgment.
That requires a group of knights.
Or a white hole.
What?
Because once you get three knights together, another knight goes, "What you talking about? What you guys talking about?" And all the adults go, "Why are there so many knights together in one spot?"
Show me your wrap.
And they go away.
How much does he have here? Throw this. Show me again. I have a better way, I think. So, we're going to show you a couple methods that we teach our guys.
You know, before I even threw those, I knew that was coming.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted to see what you were doing, right? And so, I feel like you're straightening your arm too much. Like your shots, you're reaching, and your arm is too straight. As a whole, I hate that.
Most of the time, I'm not standing still in the fight when I throw it. It's,
But you should be able to throw it standing still. That's the basics of mechanics. If you can't do it standing still, how are you going to try to add movement to it? So,
because I just add movement to it. And
man.
pray. You
So-
never tried the pray method?
Oh, no, man. So you see a lot of people, like, they've got this weird, like, they're like trying to whip
No.
it around through space and all that stuff. What I tell people is if I got my sword, especially if I'm using my left hand, and I block, what's already facing them?
Yep.
The back, right? Which is what I want to hit them with, right? And so when I do that, I literally just I turn my blade backwards, right? And then I hit them with the back part of the blade. So there's no wrap. It's literally just back to back. Also from foam, that handshake wrap. Don't straighten your arm out so much.
Yeah, no. Straightening arm has been my theme today, if you haven't noticed.
So we're gonna show you how you can throw it easier. So we're gonna throw it with my left hand, right? So we'll teach from a medium perspective, right? Into your bag right there. So a lot of people when they're throwing that wrap, they're too straight. The wrap when it finishes should be out, outside your frame, a nice 45. And so when you throw that here, or that back edge is like that outside the elbow and shoulder comes down, right? And then it just brings it in. So right, it's literally just here. Same tension in your shoulder. You maybe only do it with your right. Your left may not like that hard torsion back, right? Because remember, I've got tension in my shoulders, thumb pointed over, and then I just hit them with the back part. So turn out, face your blade, yep, and then this comes forward. And you
It's
just
still
throw-
elbow forward.
Yep, elbow forward and throw it. But you want to hit with the back pop.
What are you talking about?
A little straight. Turn sword, right, and it's right. So watch
It's
it.
a little straight.
That's all right. Watch my right hand. So here, right, and you can do it here. When I throw, you see how much my wrist turns back?
Yeah.
I'm out, right, real loose. And then just out of wrap. Literally, turn my thumb in front of my opponent and hit with it. And it's the same whether I'm hitting the leg, over the arm, or the head, right? Notice that it's always back edge first, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like people who are looking, just turn it backwards, and just hit them with it. Remember in foam, when you're throwing those with the bats, you're throwing that wrap, it's a handshake, right? So you're slapping people with it, you're just that little shitty handshake.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is turning my palm down before I begin that strike, and I throw it back edge, false edge first. Get it, get it, get it. So think about turning as much as you can, relax your grip. Now throw it like that. Better. Don't straighten your arm out. Your arm's too straight. You always you gotta finish like this.
Better. It's not as straight.
Stop early. Or
Stop earlier.
better, actually, better.
Nope. I pulled it and bounced it off.
Yeah, it'll also hurt the elbow when we teach wraps last because they're unpleasant, when people throw them improperly. But I have found, once you're used to relaxing a hand a little bit, right? Long deal. Elbow first. Makes it very easy. to throw back edge. What are you throwing there? Under. Nice leg. The reason we teach it that way is we do a lot of time core to core, right? And some people, when they're trying to hit core to core, they're like, they can't throw good shots.
Yeah, they're trying to still go around something
Yeah.
that's not there.
And what we teach is tuck your elbow behind you, right? Use your elbow as your shoulder. Like, you're not throwing out. You're just
No.
gonna, instead of using your shoulder, bring your elbow to yourself and throw that same mechanic, right? Right to your body. Right, leg at the end, the over. Be right-handed. Because we do a lot of grind work. We teach you how to throw the mechanic. Because once you're safe with it, very
Yep.
something you have to practice with, right? And those are not hard shots, right? Like I'm not, you don't see a big wind up or anything. It's literally just on, just that nice mechanic. It comes from learning to throw this shape through space poorly. Here, here. You notice a lot of my stuff is shoulder-driven space, right? I've got this shape. I'm just yeeting that thing through space for flat snap. Same thing for that back edge. Apply attention. It just takes, it's weird, right? We'll go through months of teaching people back edge to back edge. So the first thing I would tell you is when you go to throw it, practice turning it, lengthen your wrist, lengthen, and turning it as much as you can. It'll help you throw edge. Better. Arms you straight, better, better.
I also close my hand completely.
Your edge was on, but it's, you've got to relax the hand. It's got to be long
Yep.
and open. Like I'm not here, I'm here. I'm opening my hand. That lets the edge face where I want to, and I throw on it. Back, open your hand solidly, I throw. Arms a little too straight in, elbow should be a little further out, but better. Much better power. I can feel it on the back. Turn the sword more in your hand. There you go. The more. Ah! That was good. Feel the difference?
I need to practice the hand thing more than anything.
Yeah.
Because I keep
Closing your hand.
wanting
Right?
to fist
Yeah.
it.
And so we talk about that relaxation when you throw, right? Like,
Yeah.
see that I'm literally
Right.
just holding my swords like that.
No, I think what
And
I'm
that,
going
what
to
that helps me do is that's all the angles
Right.
that you need.
What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to get a air routine like we had earlier,
Uh-huh.
and do just practice on the elbow doing that.
That's
like
fine
you were
too.
doing.
Yeah, and that's good for learning to relax your hand. We
Yeah.
tell people to use the old devil grip or
Because
single
the
grip.
comment, your comment on the flat step too was I was still.
I was like, well, it's not that I think your hand is too short. It is, or too tight. It is. It's just too short. Like I don't care how you hold it, so long as your hand is long.
Right.
Like
Work on that.
whatever makes you for, but it needs to be long
But
this
I
way.
want to work on that, and then I want to work on that elbow first
Yeah.
movement with the parallel.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stretch that shoulder out. This
Yeah.
one is actually better for it right now than that one. I think as you get to where you can bring your elbows together, or at least get
Mm-hmm.
a plate press or anything that your shoulders, that will make it easier. Because look how far I can bring my shoulder across. The further you can bring your shoulders through, the easier it is to
Yep.
hit people with. Make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's 2 or 3 things to work on. We can work through that, and we can send you a copy of this.
Yes,
You can
please.
go over it and go from there. Anything you want to add, baby?
No, I think the big thing is so what I'm seeing is when you're drawing just regularly, even when he was showing you, you're doing you have a rod from here to here, right? In your body, and you're rotating it all
All the
the
ballerina in the music box.
Yeah, 100%. And so I think if you worked on this isolation of your upper body, that's gonna put you in a better position so that when you do throw, you're not in weird spots, right? And then the other thing I noticed is like once he corrected here, you ended up, I don't know if you can see on my body, but you ended up like this with your lower, like your hips and your pelvis pointed this way. And so what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to correct
Yep.
by tucking your pelvis in, by tightening this core muscle here.
Yep.
And once you have that, so when you're throwing here, right, it looks like this, and you're doing this. What we want to end up being is back here, which looks like this, then you correct to here. So now you're back where you were, but now you're isolated,
Yep.
throwing from this. And then from there you can add what you're doing originally, which is that here, right?
Yep.
But you're not allowing this side of your body to rotate. This
Right.
body, this part, so it's basically you're coming in here. So my left side is staying the same, my right is able to do exactly what you were doing when you were pivoting.
Yep.
So that would be the only small correction that I would look at on video is correct. Yeah, it essentially is correcting this, and then now once you have this isolated and it stays forward, now you can work all or this way. You know, you can throw shots and start stepping and learning how to move and stay in those positions. So
Good catch, honey.
that would be the only adjustment I would suggest.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.